All right, so calculate super measure, please work, close the bracket, enter. Damn, did not work. In this video, I'm going to talk about 4 common mistakes of the calculate function and how do you fix them. No further ado, let's go. Alright, mistake number 1. A lot of times you're going to see people using the calculate function around the sum function, something like this. So you are trying to sum the units column of the sales table and you have the sum function, of course, but also outside that you have the calculate for no good reason. Now at the moment, if you drag this measure to the pivot table, I'm not saying that it's not going to give you the right answer. The right answer is absolutely right, but this is just going to work without the calculate function just as well. So if I now commit to the formula is working just okay. Now you're going to counter me and say that I have seen places where if I don't use the calculate function outside of the sum function, my formula doesn't work. And that actually happens in context transition. I'm going to show you that, not really get into a lot of jargons, but show you with a practical example that where do you literally need the calculate around the sum function. So let's just say that we are trying to solve another problem. I have the year and the month here, and I want to find out that what is the sales of the best selling day. So January had 31 days. All the sales accumulated was 84, the number of units. What was the sales of the best selling day, single day? So to be able to solve this problem, let's just attack this visually first. So I'm going to go over to my calendar table, take the date, drop that in my pivot table and arrange that slide differently. And I have the dates right here. Now you can see that I have the total units and I can see that perhaps 8 is the largest number, which is right here. Now that's the answer that I would want. Now, if you take a look at the moment, what I have done is in order for me to get the number 8, I need to summarize the data by the date right here and then find out which is the maximum value of that. Now, I don't need to write the summarize function or anything like that because we already have a calendar table which is at the granularity of a single day. So I could perhaps use a max x function just to iterate through that. And here is a measure that I have already written. So I'm going to say, hey, max x, because I'm trying to find the max. Go in every single row of the calendar table because in calendar, one row means one date. And then please calculate the sum. Now here is where you would need the calculate in order for you to apply every single dates filter. Now in case you do not really understand how and why this is working, this is context transition, I would highly recommend that please go ahead and watch my video on context transition in order to understand that why and how this works. But for now, here is where you would need the calculate function in order to trigger context transition. At the moment, if I drag this measure into my pivot table, it is going to give me the right result, and that is the number 8 that I saw. But if you happen to remove the calculate function, it is not going to give you the right result, and what you're going to see is the very number of the entire month. You can see that that's the 84 and that's the 84, which is not really the right answer. Now, what you can also do is you can also reference the total units measure that we had created just a while ago, which was nothing but the blanket sum measure that we just wrote, and we removed the calculate from there. This is also going to work because the measure referenced within another measure has hidden calculate around that, and this is also going to work just as okay. So unless you are triggering context transition, you don't need the calculate. Mistake number 2, a lot of times you're going to find that people are going to blanket wrap the measure in the calculate. We've somehow discussed this measure in the previous mistake that we saw, but I want to make it absolutely explicit. Now, take a look at this measure. I am using calculate, and within that, I'm referencing a measure with no filters of the calculate. So calculate total units, and total units is nothing but a measure. So you should never really do that because once you reference a measure, the measure already has a hidden calculate around that. This calculate is not going to make any difference unless you write any filter condition here. So even if you happen to remove the calculate, this is just going to work just as fine. If you happen to use within a measure, within an iterator, or as a column as well in the table, this measure without any calculate around that is just going to work absolutely fine. Mistake number 3, I've seen this a lot of times where the expression part of the calculate is declared as a variable. Please take a look at this measure that I'm working with. So here I am saying that I have a variable called units, which I have referenced the total units measure, and then that variable is what I'm using in my calculate function right here. Now, once I do that, this particular variable that I have at the first part here is not going to be recalculated once this filter context hits. So this is not going to give you any different results. So if I just maybe drag this measure in my pivot table, what you're going to see is the very results of the month. So 84 remains 84 here, and you do not get to see the same period last year result. If you just happen to reference the measure, so this measure is being referenced right here, instead of the variable, because the variable is not going to be recalculated with this filter context. Now this is going to work fine, because this filter context, which is the filter context of the last year, can be applied to this, and this is just going to work fine. Now if I commit to this, you're going to see that the numbers change and the 84 is shown against 2012 and the month of Jan. Mistake number 4, the filter argument of the calculate function has to evaluate to a table expression. That must have been a mouthful of jargons. Let me explain what do I mean. So once you're writing the calculate function, I'm trying to calculate total units, and I'm trying to calculate units not for the current year, but for the same period last year. Now this is where I'm going to write the filter. This is where I'm going to write the expression. This is where I write the filter, and I can write as many filters as I would like. All of the filters that I happen to write within the calculate function, they need to be a table expression. If they are not a table expression, if they don't form a table, the calculate is not going to work. Now, a good question is, how do you test that whether something is evaluating to a table or not? One of the easiest way to check is that to create a table with the second part of the calculate function. So let's just say, for example, I'm not really sure that if the same period last year function is actually going to give me a table or not. So what I can do is I can copy that part of the calculate, go over to my data right here, and I'm going to say that, hey, I want to make a table. So I'll say make a new table, and just paste the function right here, same period last year and that. And once you kind of commit to it, what you have been able to get is nothing but a table which has maybe multiple columns, but at the moment one, but definitely multiple rows. And that, when goes to the calculate function, is just going to work fine. Let's just take a look at another example. Here is another measure. So I'm just trying to calculate total units, and I'm trying to calculate total units for the top 3 selling days of the month. So I have the top n function right here, and I'm saying top 3 of the calendar table, where one row is 1 day and in the order of the total units. This ideally should give me a table. Let's just take a look if this gives me a table or not. So I can copy this part, Control C on that, and maybe you can also use DAX Studio for that. All right, I'm in DAX Studio, and that's where I'm going to paste my expression. Just make sure that you write the evaluate keyword at the start. And if you run your query right here, what you're going to get is again nothing but a table. And if this table goes inside of your calculate function, it's just going to work fine. Let's just take a look at one more example. Not all the times you can just copy paste the filter expression into a table or DAX Studio and it's going to deliver a table. So take a look at this one. So at the moment I'm saying calculate total sales, but for a particular channel where the channel is equals to affiliate. Now at the moment, if I take this one and maybe press Control C on that, go over to DAX Studio and delete that part and paste that right here. And if I now kind of run this, this is not going to run okay, because this expression itself doesn't really evaluate to a table. But for calculate, it does evaluate to a table. This is where you need to understand the workings of the calculate and how does this filter actually form a table. So I could probably write something like a filter, and I could say something like all of the sales table and the region column, and the filter here is channel equals to affiliate. And I'm going to close that, format my DAX and run the query. Sorry, that was channel, and run the query. And that actually gives me the table right here. So this particular expression that we were seeing initially was translating to this filter function that was going inside of the calculate function. So it's not always going to be the case where you just take the second part of the calculate, put that in DAX Studio or make a table and it's just going to give you the table. Sometimes you just have to go beyond what is visible to you and understand how the functions are working in Power BI, and there is no alternative to that. All right, that's been it. Let me know if you have any questions around this one. I just want to leave you with a note that the techniques that we have learned in order for us to make our DAX functions work will probably give you some answer, but I cannot guarantee that it's going to be the right answer. For that, you'll have to understand DAX, you'll have to deep dive into what the formula is doing and probably tweak the formula in such a way that you get to the right answer than just getting any answer. These were just my attempt to make you aware of the common mistakes that people make while writing the calculate function, and you shouldn't do these mistakes anymore. In case you are a beginner in Power BI and you'd like to get on top of Power Query, DAX, data modeling, learn them in a structured way, and then proceed on to solving even more difficult, more harder problems of your own data, I'd highly recommend that you take a look at my courses. It's going to be super awesome. Thanks so much for sticking all around, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Cheers and bye now.